In this video, we're going to go over players that have less than 5 cards total, and stay tuned for 8 different players, and this could be a great investment opportunity. Over the past 40 years, most players have more rookie cards, just rookie cards, than the players on this list have in total throughout all the years of their playing days. Kobe Bryant here has over 15 rookie cards, and everyone on this list, well, they have less than 5 cards total from the entire time they're playing. Nowadays, players have more rookie variation cards of one set than the players on this list. Players on this list are unique and are scarce and can hold great value in the long run. We're going to start with someone, maybe it's arguable to call him a player, but they sure are a giant. It's Andre the Giant, and he has 3 cards. That's it, and that's all. 3. We're only counting cards from their playing days in this video. Cards that are made in 2022 of these players, well, they don't count. They're not the same caliber or sought after in the same way. The card we're looking at here is a New Japan Japanese card. This is the card that really holds the value. 1982 Wrestling All-Stars Series A, and while there'd be many more wrestling sets printed after this year become more common, none of them had an Andre the Giant card. Of the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars, there's just under 400 in a PSA slab. That's it. None in a PSA 10 and 4 in a PSA 9. It's very rare, and in high grade, it's almost impossible to get. And let's take a look at some of the prices, recent sales. In a PSA 8, again, there are just 22 of them. It sold last January of 2023 for $9,000. In a PSA 7, it sold just this past December 26, Christmas 2023 for $2,800. In a PSA 7, there are 50 copies. In a PSA 6, there are 103, so you're still looking at the top 200 copies in this grade, and it sold for $675 on December 19, 2023. That seems like a pretty good deal in this rare card, which is very few Andre the Giant cards. In a PSA 5, selling for just under $400 back in November of 2023. Now, remember, he has the 1974 Japanese cards. Here's in a PSA 7, selling for $450. This is card number 29, which is the more rare of the two. There are just 82 copies in a PSA slab. In a PSA 3, it sold in August of 2023 for under $200. I mean, it just seems like a good deal. In the slab, you can see it's a little bit small or miscut. Card number 25 from the same set has more copies, but it's still extremely rare with just 115 copies in a PSA slab, none in a PSA 10. A PSA 5 sold December 19th for $212. In total, Andre the Giant has less than 700 cards graded in a PSA slab. Incredible and very rare. This is unique to find players or athletes with this few cards in a slab. From one fighter to the next, we have Mike Tyson, who's sitting at 5 cards from his time as a professional boxer. Cardboard Connection is not a sponsor, but they have great articles on cards, some of the best. We're starting here with 1986 Super Sport Mike Tyson. This is a sticker card made in Europe, but it just holds a high premium and high price. This is his first card, and as the article says here, this supersedes any mainstream boxing sets by a few years. In a PSA 9, there are only 19. It sold for $7,300 back in May of 2023, and this is technically, although it's a sticker, it's really his rookie card, and there's very few, and it definitely is the most expensive Mike Tyson card out there. You see there's just 3, only 3 in a PSA 10. And well, it hasn't sold since 2015. It sold for $5,000 back then, and Card Letter has this thing valued at $62,000 if sold today. And seeing a PSA 9 just went for close to $8,000. Who knows? In a PSA 6, you can get this card for as cheap as $1,300. Cardboard Connection goes on to say that you have no choice but to go oddball for a Mike Tyson card in his early years. Here's a 1987 Question of Sport. It's a board game in England or the UK. And, well, it's also pretty limited and rare. This would be his second card out there. First, if you're talking about just a card, no sticker. There's less than 1,000 or right about 1,000 in total graded with PSA, just 32 in a PSA 10. In a PSA 9, there are 333 copies, and it recently sold for just under $200. In a PSA 10, that rare card, it's selling for under $2,000, $1,700. Is that a deal or not? Comment below. Where do you think this card goes? Is that a risk? Does this card fall in price over the years, just 32 in a PSA 10, or you think it's a no-brainer and it'll only appreciate with time? Cardboard Connection goes on to say, like the traditional second-year card, the 87 Super Sport sticker does not have the same prestige as 86, but it's still extremely popular. Let's take a look at the pop count. There are several variations of this card depending on the country it was released, so it's hard to find a true pop count. I saw a pop count with as few as 6, and here we have 106 in a PSA slab, and it last sold for $500 in a PSA 9. In 1991, KO Boxing released a pretty decent boxing set stateside, and Mike Tyson was put in this set as a promo card. You can see it's also very, very rare, just 87 in a PSA slab and just 1 in a PSA 10. The last card of Tyson's fighting days is the 1991 Ring Lords. It's just, he's got that beautiful belt and then that dirty Don King next to him. This card came apparently as the base card, and then there's also in the PSA pop count the sample card. Combined, there's about 500 total, and both the 1991 cards you can get relatively cheap, under $50. Mike Tyson, well, he has less than 2,000 cards graded in a PSA slab, and I mean, that's just very unique. And our next player, equally as unique and a legend in his own right, Lou Gehrig. Gehrig also has 5 different cards from his playing days, so we'll take the next couple minutes to get into him. This is his first official baseball card, and there's 27 baseball players in this set of 32 athletes. And as you would suspect, it's very rare. There's only 91 or just under 100 copies in a PSA slab, and their best copy graded is a PSA 8, and there are 8 in that grade. Let's take a look at the most recent sales of this card. They range between $5,000 and $25,000. That's a PSA 1 to a PSA 6 respectively. And again, this card's rare. He's a legend. Will it appreciate, or is it a risk? Could these cards fall? In 1933, Goudey came out with a pair of cards. They have different numbers, but it's the same exact picture, just different numbers on the card. It's the only difference. And you can see there's about 2,000 total copies if you count both card numbers, card number 92 and card number 160. If you combine on the right there, you see the total, and there's just about 2,000 of them. And here we're looking at a PSA 2 to a PSA 3 grade, anyway, between $4,000 to $5,000. Obviously, in higher grade, this card sells for an astronomical price. That same year in 1933, DeLong came out with the Lou Gehrig card, and the PSA pop count's very low, under 250 cards graded in a PSA slab, and that keeps this card rare and hard to get. And recent prices having a PSA 1 selling for $4,000, and an SGC 5 recent sale sold for $18,000. It's a rare card. Lou Gehrig does not have many cards, and that's what keeps this price at a high point. 1934 Goudey, and according to the Cardboard Connection article, they say this is one of the most popular cards because of the smile and the pretty color background yellow. Also a rare card, but not as rare as the DeLong. The Goudey card has about 1,000 graded in a PSA slab, and well, it still holds a pretty good price because there's just not many Lou Gehrig cards out there. Goudey had 2 different Gehrig cards in the set. This one, as Cardboard Connection puts it, is the tamer version, soft green background. Many collectors prefer the 34 Gehrig over the 33 Gehrig. There are, again, about 1,000, maybe 800 in a PSA slab, so combined you're looking at close to 2,000 1934 Goudey cards in a slab. And all in all, Gehrig has under 5,000 cards in a PSA slab, and I really want to put that in perspective when you're looking at this number, because Michael Jordan, just in a PSA 8 alone, his rookie card here, there's 8,000 of them. I mean, so just keep these in perspective. Tom Brady, his 2000 Skybox rookie card, just alone, there's 5,000 in an 8 and 9. In a PSA 9 LeBron James Topps rookie card, you're looking at close to 7,000 copies. Ken Griffey Jr. has over 40,000 copies of his 1989 Upper Deck in just a PSA 8 slab. And Ricky Henderson in a PSA 8 slab rookie card, well, over 12,000 copies graded. This really puts it in perspective what we're looking at. Shohei Ohtani, more modern, PSA 10, Topps Chrome, over 11,000 cards, and he has many, many, many rookie cards. So hopefully this puts in perspective what we're looking at with the cards on this list. And just to clarify, we're not looking at just rookie cards for the people on this list. We're looking at cards total, all cards in a PSA slab, no matter rookie year, 5 years in, or a decade in. The next name on the list you could say is controversial, but so be it. There are 15 copies of Harry Houdini's rookie card. This is a 1902 Ogden Gold. It's Series B, a mouthful there. It's selling for about $1,000 in a PSA 5. And again, there's only 15 of them. Harry Houdini only has 2 cards. Just 2. The one you just saw, and this one here in 1922 Boys Cinema, and there's about 60 of them in a PSA slab. It's selling for under $1,000. You can get this thing for what? One sold in a PSA 4 for $700. Above that, you see another one for $400, and it's just very rare. Harry Houdini has under 100 copies of these in a PSA slab. There's not many of his cards out there. He's a legend. Under 100 total cards in a PSA slab for Houdini. Bill Russell only has 3 total cards. That's all. On the left there is his rookie card from 1957, and on the right, both those cards are in the 1961 Fleer set, but we'll get to those in a minute. For now, let's focus on his rookie card. This is 1957 Topps. Not only is it his rookie card, but it's the first year Topps makes a basketball card, and they wouldn't make another basketball set until 1969. And that is the reason Bill Russell has very few cards. And in total of his 1957 rookie card, there are about 1,200 of them total graded, and it's very rare in a high grade. In a PSA 2, it still holds a commanding price of over $3,000. It's a hard card to get into your collection. I expect it just to continue to appreciate. This is a second-year card, 1961 Fleer, the first year Fleer makes an NBA product. First year they have basketball cards. They wouldn't make more basketball cards till 1985. That Jordan year, 1986, excuse me. This is in a PSA 9. There are just 29 in that grade, and it last sold for $20,000. And there are about 1,500 copies of this card in a PSA slab, and the highest grade is selling for 20 grand. Is that a deal, or is it way too high? A PSA 8, it falls tremendously down to $5,000, or 169 in that grade. And I just want to highlight, Bill Russell has 3 cards. He has the rookie card we saw from 1957 Topps. He has this 1961 Fleer base card that you could see the price. I don't know, in a PSA 5, you get this in your collection for $1,000. And he only has one other card, and it's from this same set here in 1961. These are the in-action cards from that Fleer set, and there's just about 1,000 copies, a little over, graded in a PSA slab. The best grade is a PSA 9. There are 22 of them, and it sells for $12,000. That's it. Bill Russell has 3 cards. What amazes me about this list, most athletes have more insert cards in one set than these players have in their whole entire career of playing. And there's not many players. I challenge you, write down in the comments, who are other players like this? I'd love to know. It's great for people to know and shine light on it, because these are the true rare cards, unique players that just, there's not much of their stuff out there. In total, Bill Russell has less than 4,000 cards in a PSA slab, and as you saw earlier, that's just rare. His counterpart, someone he played with, Bob Cousy, the only cards Bob Cousy has are for those same exact sets as Bill Russell. Now, Bill Russell won 11 championships, and Bob Cousy won 6 championships. That's another thing about the players or athletes on this list. And they're legends. I mean, Cousy may be the least legendary of all, and still a top 50 NBA player of all time, and a 6-time NBA champion. And you can see down below, he has less than 3,000 cards total in a PSA slab. It's incredible. It's rare. And it's just hard to find players like that. So again, if you know of players, athletes, stars that have cards in that few, please comment below. Here we're taking a look at 1958 Mickey Mantle on the left. That's just his 5th, 6-year card, and on the right it is a Nolan Ryan rookie. But if we add up the pop count, you can see just in a PSA 4, 5, and 6 on the mantle, there's over 6,000 of them just in this one card alone in these few grades. Same thing with the Nolan Ryan on the right. There's over 7,000 of them, and that's just in 3 grades of his rookie card, not to mention his 30 other years of playing baseball. I did say we'd go through 8 players. The video's getting a little longer than I would have liked. We're coming up on our 7th player, and after that, I have 3 more that are not quite as rare, but honorable mentions. And in the grand scheme of things, the last 3 players just have a lot fewer cards than many. But our 7th player we're looking at, well, it's Cheryl Miller. Now, technically, Cheryl Miller's playing days were in the 80s. She even scored 105 points in a high school game. It's the record for high school women's basketball game. Her rookie card, though, wouldn't be until 1994. This is her first card ever printed, and she only has several cards printed in the 90s. The next up is a classic card from 1996, but again, these are a decade after her run in the NCAA tournament and with USA basketball. That being said, I can't say that women's sports is getting more love at the moment, but Caitlin Clark is sure putting an eye on women's basketball at the moment, and Cheryl Miller is considered the best women's basketball player of all time. She never got to play in the WNBA. That doesn't matter. She's still considered the top of the top. So Caitlin Clark bringing more eyes to the sport and to women's basketball, it could do something well for Cheryl Miller's cards. This could also be a huge reach. Either way, Cheryl Miller has very few cards printed. These last 3 players, well, they have more cards than the previous, but they still have very few cards, and they are legends, so they're worth just talking about really quickly. And the first is Gale Sayers. This is my dad's favorite player growing up. And as you can see on the left, he just has 6 total cards. He didn't play long in the NFL, I believe just 8 or 9 seasons, and retired. But one of the best running backs of all time. And again, he just has 6 different cards in his playing days. And the next player on this list is just as big as Gale Sayers, probably bigger, Joe Namath. Now you can see the list of cards is also a bit longer. He has 9 years or 9 different sets with his cards in it, but you know, it's still semi-low. It's hard to find players with less than that, and I'd love for you to comment below if you know of some players, well-known players, you're talking players that are in demand or big names, Hall of Famers, that have, you know, a few cards. I'd be very interested in adding to this list. Please comment below. The last player I'm going to go over is Wilt Chamberlain. He has just 8 different cards, and if you don't count the Icy Bear card from 1972, it's just 7 different cards. Not much out there for Wilt Chamberlain. Another legend. His name is up there with big as Joe Namath, Bill Russell, Mike Tyson, and the like. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button so I know you want more content like this, and I'll make more. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel grow, the algorithm, and you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, a.k.a. Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.